Imagine waking up 50,000 years ago. Somehow you survived, found food, found water, found a tribe willing to take you in. Weeks pass, nothing goes wrong. Then one morning you walk out to collect firewood, something you've done a dozen times, a short walk you could do half asleep. You bend down for a branch. When you look up, the camp is gone. No smoke rising anywhere, no voices, not even footprints in the dirt where 100 people were standing an hour ago. You are, for the first time in your life, completely alone. And back then, that word meant something closer to a death sentence than a feeling. You don't panic yet. They're probably just past the ridge. You call out. Nothing answers but your own echo. You walk further, faster, and somewhere in the last 10 minutes, the search stopped being about firewood and started being about people. Here's the part that made this genuinely lethal. There were no roads, no maps, no signs telling you which way civilization was. The world just repeated itself. Trees, then more trees, a rock that looked like the last rock, grass that looks like all the other grass. This isn't guesswork, it's documented. Kenneth Hill, a psychologist who spent decades studying real search and rescue cases, found that lost people don't wander randomly at all. Hunters, hikers, children, each group panics and moves in strikingly predictable but wrong ways, which is exactly why rescue teams can often guess where to look before they even start searching. You wouldn't have had that advantage. Nobody was coming to guess your pattern.
The light changes, and so does the entire shape of your problem. You're no longer searching for the tribe, you're now racing the dark. Night didn't just mean less visibility, it meant the balance of power flipped. Humans see poorly once the sun drops. Lions, hyenas, leopards, wolves do not have that problem. Every snapped twig sounds like a decision being made about you somewhere in the dark. Your pulse climbs, your hearing sharpens. Not because you're afraid in some weak, unhelpful way, but because this exact scenario is precisely what that alarm system was built for. Oddly, the predator isn't the thing most likely to kill you here. A bad decision is. Keep walking and you might close the distance to the tribe, or you might walk straight past them in the dark. Stay put, and if they're searching, you're easy to find, but if they're not, you've just given up ground and daylight for nothing. There's no version of this where the right answer is obvious, and there's a deeper reason humans never tried to do this alone. Anthropologists Robert Sussman and Donna Hart spent years cataloging how often early humans and other primates were killed by predators, not the other way around, and concluded that group living wasn't a lifestyle choice, it was a defense system. A lone primate is a target. A group is a problem for anything trying to hunt it. People raised in hunting and gathering societies spend years learning the landscape, where water collects, which ridges animals use at dusk, which trees mark familiar territory. That knowledge is the real map. The land only looks empty because nobody ever taught you how to read it. Morning again. Still alone. Now your stomach is running the show. Hunger doesn't arrive all at once. It negotiates. First you ignore it, then you think about food. Soon food is all you think about. Some berries you could eat safely. Others would put you on the ground within the hour. Some plants heal a wound, others do the opposite. Your tribe knew which was which because someone had already tested it, sometimes at a real cost, years before you were born. You don't have that inheritance, so every plant is a bet, and even the water you drink is one too. Then something stranger starts happening. You hear your name. You turn, nobody's there. Movement catches your eye. Only grass. Again. This isn't just in your head, or rather, it is, and that's the point. Psychologist John Cacioppo spent years measuring what isolation actually does to the body, and found that prolonged loneliness raises cortisol, disrupts sleep, and even changes how immune cells behave. Your brain isn't overreacting. It's treating disconnection as a physical threat, because for most of human history it was one. Plenty of ancient societies had a punishment they considered worse than killing someone: casting them out. Everyone understood exactly what that meant. Alone, finding food gets harder. Staying warm gets harder. Sleeping without a watch gets harder. Every single task that was shared becomes yours alone to solve. The tribe wasn't sentiment, it was infrastructure. Remove it, and the odds against you multiply overnight. There's a reason exclusion feels like more than hurt feelings. In 2003, neuroscientist Naomi Eisenberger scanned people's brains while they were deliberately left out of a simple game, and found that social rejection lit up the same brain region, the anterior cingulate cortex, that lights up during physical pain. Being cast out of the group didn't just feel bad. As far as your brain was concerned, it was an injury. Now, getting lost means checking your phone, calling someone, pulling up a map and waiting 20 minutes for a friend to show up. None of that existed 50,000 years ago, but the wiring in your head hasn't caught up to the fact that it exists now. That's the same circuitry Cacioppo and Eisenberger were measuring. It just has nothing to do anymore. The threat is gone. The alarm stayed. That's arguably why silence in an empty apartment can feel oppressive. Why being left out of something small still stings more than it logically should. So what actually happened to the people who got lost 50,000 years ago? Some found their way back. Some got found. A lot of them didn't come back at all. The world around us has changed almost completely since then. But somewhere underneath all of it, there's still a very old, very quiet instinct doing its job. Don't get left behind. It's been running that same line for a few 100,000 years, and so far, it hasn't been wrong to worry.